Okay, we lit it just like a fuse, so y'all need to pick and choose. Welcome to 2020, where we do more than interviews. The hottest be coming through, jumping knowledge on all of you. Get a peek at the front of you with the truth that they offer you. Yeah, hands up, we doing it for the culture. To give artists and businesses more exposure. Keeping it real and stay silent just like a boulder. It's about to go all the way down, can't get no lower. Chasing my dreams, know that they get no slower. But if I stay running, I promise they getting closer. Moreover, success my older. And if you're sleeping on me, I'm waking them up like soldiers. I told you, coming from the land with the tide roll. Well, we'll be on a whole different vibe though. We like to ride slow and keep our windows tinted so you really can see us. Like Stevie Wonder waking up with his eyes closed. Yeah, got the kind of flow that rock the boat. On my 16s and pounds of dope. And if you figure you can hang with me on the mic, then grab some rope. Matter of fact, better grab some hope. While you at it, we keep it live. It's time to tune in. Turn up the sound on what you're using. It goes so hard, I think it's bruising. The show is 2020, no need to zoom in. Yeah.
What's happening? It's your boy Sir of the 2020 Podcast LLC, and I got my people with me. Hey, I got my people with it. Look, we ain't gonna start.
Squad up.
You know what I'm saying? You know what it is. The 2020 Podcast LLC.
Please say the LLC.
See that? Yeah. See? All day, every day, twice on Sunday, even though it's Monday. Y'all. So we're here. The bat signal has been shined. We're here to discuss the Zaya Wade debacle. I don't even want to call it a debacle. I'm going to say the photo and what it means. Now, to those of you who don't know, please, by all means, go check out Twitter. Twitter's talking about it. We got a picture of Zaya Wade, Dwayne Wade's daughter, kissing her boyfriend, and it's posted on social media, and everybody has something to say. So we decided to weigh in on it. So I'm gonna give it to y'all. I'm gonna set the blanket, light the candles, you know what I'm saying, put the pate over there, got the crackers over here, got the good cheese, the good wine, and I'm gonna let y'all go for it. So I will say this, I'm gonna start with this one here because I want to hear what this man got to say first. Your boy Black.
Oh wow. What I got to say is this. Make sure you go to the 2020 podcast page. Make sure you like and subscribe to that thing. So when we go live, y'all can catch on and get in the chat and put y'all input in. Are we sharing this to the 2020 page on Facebook? Could you make sure you in that thing? Because that thing cracking. Are we live in there right now?
We live in that thing.
Okay, if you put it on your personal page now. So my opinion about this. Let me go on in first and kick this off. I don't really have an opinion even any more than I've already had about that whole situation. I've done a show on that, so you can go to the EBH Black Show and check that out. But Z Wade, that's what I'm calling Z Wade. So Z Wade, I think it's an agenda being pushed, but whatever, you know, people want to argue that. I don't know. What am I supposed to have a problem with? The fact that he kissing a boy that's really a girl? Or is it the other way? See, I don't know. It's so confusing. I don't even try to tap in that much because it's just an agenda to me. So I just ignore it.
That's interesting because that's pretty much the consensus I've been getting from a lot of people that I've been speaking about is indifference. They don't really care. But you know, Twitter seems to be up in arms again, as it tends to be. So I want to ask Lady, you know, your girl Lady, what you think? What are your thoughts?
I think it's an attempt to stay relevant. You know, every once in a while something comes out of that household, and every man, woman, and child has their own thing to say, and I'm over here like, does it provide me with any of the 3 F's?
What are those 3 F's? I don't mind. Go for it.
That will be feed, finance, and fornicate. I'll be PG-13. If you're not doing either of those 3 to pop up in my news feed, then my piece is way over there out here. So I'm like, they want to stay relevant. They want to distract us from something possibly. I read through some of the chat this morning in the text, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go back to sleep. I, I saw from the very first mention of it, Mystique was like, but I was like, yep, I knew that was coming. But I'm
Mhm.
like, this does not benefit me at all. And a very intelligent person by the name of Eternity Everlasting has instilled in me the principle of if it's not directly affecting you or hurting you, don't give it too much energy.
Okay, can I pause right there though?
Yeah.
Because I love that comment when people say that if it doesn't directly affect me. Okay, so I ask myself, does this directly affect me? And I'm gonna say absolutely it does. Now, where I might sit as a person with kids might be different than a person that don't have kids.
Sure.
Mhm.
Because I have an issue with it because it directly affects. If you're pushing an agenda and the agenda is making something that's not okay in my household, okay in society, it directly affects me. So now the question I have to ask myself, how do I counter that? And then that's something I come up on my own, and then we can have a discussion about that. But I'm saying it does affect me directly, me personally, in my opinion.
Interesting. 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 Okay. So I'm gonna pass the buck
And
along.
that's not to discredit lady at all.
Mhm.
Because I'm just saying that when people say that, because it might not affect her like that, but there are some people that it do affect, and I feel like I'm one of those people. That's why I pay attention what's going on with the D Wade thing. But society makes you feel a certain type of way if you give it pushback, and I'm not one of them people that care. So
Mm. Now, there's many ways that I've seen that this has affected people, and there's many different routes that people had issues with. One of the issues that I had about it was, and for those of you that are just joining in, it's for the picture of Z Wade. I like that, and I like the way that works. Z Wade, and her boyfriend kissing on social media. I have a problem with minors being intimate like that on social media. I don't care about the gender identity or anything like that. I wouldn't care if it was two straight kids or two gay kids, two pan kids, whatever. It's two kids kissing on
Kids
social media.
cringe.
Exactly. It made me oddly uncomfortable. Now, coming from that point, I wanted to alley oop to light skin Keith Sweat. Shout out to my boy with the album coming out.
Yes, sir.
So, brother, just tell me where your mind at with this. Like, just the best way I can put it.
Well, I guess it's to go along with, and I said this earlier when we were discussing it privately, to what Boy Black was saying, like it's this agenda. You get what I'm saying? And to your girl lady point, it's like them Jimmys, the ways, the unions, whatever you want to, Dwayne Union or whatever you want to call them. You know what I'm saying? It's like they always doing something. Like it's like whether it affects you or not. If you do something controversial, people are going to talk about it. You get what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's always been like that, even before the social media age, where it's a gossip, rumors, what I'm saying, whatever it is. So my thing is that some people say, well, kids do way worse. So kids are smoking at this time. Kids are having, saying sex at this time. Young kids, unless their parents are just don't care, are not having sex in front of their parents. Young kids are not smoking weed, at their age in front of their parents. So for them to be hugged up, kissing with their arms around one another, like they are like in a deep embrace. So it ain't like it's a picture where they just kissing on the cheek, or forehead or something. Like they literally got their arms wrapped around, one another. They've been in love for like years. Like, oh baby, just wait till after you get done with this picture. We're gonna go to the room or we're gonna go to Miami or whatever the case may be. So that's my thing. And to what, to what Boy Black was saying, is people that how can I put it? Is to me, I feel like some people are trying to make it the new norm. You know what I'm saying? To
Mhm.
where it's so much of it to where you don't even, you know what I'm saying, pay no attention. And now you got just this big conglomerate of everything, you know what I'm saying, going, you know what I'm saying, going on. So that's just my piece on it. I think it's a little bit of everything going on in that situation, from the unions or the wage want to be relevant because they know people, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
gonna talk about it, to normalization, to what's the word that we use, to influencing. And then when you went deeper in the story, which we talked about that privately, you know, it's like, it's one idea, it's a Z Wade identify is a boy identifying as a girl, and whoever that girl is or whatever, she's a, well, it's a girl identifying as a boy. See, I'm already confused. You know what I'm saying? So that's just my piece on it, man.
Yeah, and I feel where you're coming from on that, because when I first looked at the picture, I had to go and research and see exactly what was going on behind the scenes there. And to Isis Durant's point, so what? It's a slippery slope, I think, is the consensus among us. It has nothing to really do, like I said, with their sex or the fact that kids be kissing. It's the fact that it's being put on display as if it is the norm for this type of embrace to be among kids. We understand kids gonna do what kids do, but to put it in the forefront on social media saying, hey, this is how we do it, that's an issue. That's where we're taking an issue. It doesn't matter if they're famous or not. The problem is that we want to protect our kids from growing up too fast. And I feel like this picture is not advocating that. But I want to alley oop this to one of the members of the Safe Word podcast, Miss Mystique. How you doing, girl? You there? You there?
Look like she dropped off. Oh, never mind. I see a picture.
Well, we gonna loop back to you, Mystique. KMarie, come holler at me. What you got going on? You muted, girl. Hold on. K, you're muted. You're muted, girl.
Oh, and she is going to
She
town.
going in, and
She
can't
going
nobody hear nothing.
in. We
Okay, we
can't hear
can't hear
you.
you.
We can't hear you,
Oh, she
Kay.
can't hear us either.
So,
Oh my
so
gosh.
I tell you what, Ebony, you go ahead.
I really want to hear what Kay has to say.
What, she is still talking?
So I tell you what, okay, I'm gonna remove you. You just
Oh
join
my
back.
god. I'm gonna tell
Oh,
you though, for me, this is difficult for me. Um, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. This is difficult for me because I'm raising two boys. I don't want my kids to see that. And I don't want them to think that it's okay, because that was a standard for me set as a child, that until I became a certain age, it wasn't dating. And if it was, you know, we can't even hold hands type of boyfriend, girlfriend. This, you see them at school and hey, but then when you get home, you ain't gonna be on this phone all night. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? It was a different standard. And I don't know. I just really have a problem with it. I don't want to see that being my kids. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, well, I feel like I'm gonna be I'm gonna be ranting on Twitter if I go into detail. But just to keep it brief, short, and concise, I didn't have my first kiss till I was like 17, 18 years old. And it definitely wasn't that type of kiss. This was a peck. It wasn't no tongue, no lip. He ain't touched my shoulder. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that. And I feel like also because of where we're from, we're in the southern, in the South, in the deep South, in the country basically. And these are people in Hollywood. I feel like y'all said, when it's a celebrity, their kids on average grow up quicker than our kids do because they don't have the foundation set like we do. They don't have the childhood for as long as we do. When they hit teenage, a lot of times those celebrities, they kids be grown too. They be doing the same stuff they parents, some of them as actual toddlers and stuff, doing the same thing their mamas and daddies doing. Some of them probably be out in the parties with them. You know what I'm saying? So for them, that is a norm. But to expose, like you said, to expose the entire world to your norm and know that that's not the typical norm for the world, that's a hard pill for me to swallow as a parent. It's really difficult. I don't see me being okay with my kids showing affection like that. That picture disturbed me, and like you said, it had nothing to do with none of that. It just we're saying that grown men that like children are pedophiles, but when kids are with kids, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's not okay for you to be in bed with this grown man at 17, but it's okay for these two 14-year-olds to be kissing like they've been in a loving relationship for 30 years. So I'm gonna leave it there and somebody else take this ball before I get
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, Dora, we can hear you.
Okay, I don't know what was going on. I had to reset my phone, open a new.
Oh, but go ahead, Dora. What are your thoughts on the picture?
Okay, now my thoughts. I am a big advocate and supporter of the LGBT plus Q plus community, and I'm all for. In my household, I will support my children. No matter what how they choose to identify. Now, I personally believe that I don't believe in any kind of surgical or medical intervention before the age of 18. I feel like once you become, a legal adult, you are more than welcome to, and I'll support you however I need to. But I'm all for social transition before the age of 18, and then we'll discuss, medical once you get older. But I also don't advocate in the same thing for dating before 17. That's just I feel like with that, especially with I don't like to see children subjected to scrutiny. I don't like to see children especially, it doesn't matter. I'm always going to be passionate advocate for our Black kids. And I just don't feel like Zaya deserves the scrutiny by all these adults doing think pieces. I feel like if her parents decided that okay, she can date whomsoever she dates. I just feel like, I'm not saying push your child in the closet or anything, but I feel like when you start to put stuff like that on display, like, the whole kid, like if they gonna date or what have you, if both sets of parents are okay with it, by all means, that's for their parents to decide and to, you know, work out amongst themselves. But when they start to put the pictures out there, and it's this other young man she's dating who's not a famous celebrity, who's not, his parent. I'm not digging, but it doesn't seem like his parents are celebrities. They may be like celebrity adjacent or what have you, but now this child is subjected to scrutiny, who's not used to being in this light, I'm sure, because before, those photos. So I just feel like children should not, I don't feel like people should be picking apart or, subjecting children to scrutiny. But also, you have to understand that's what comes with being in the light. And like I said, I don't advocate for, people, like you said, it's something completely uncomfortable about adults going around sharing pictures and just constantly posting pictures of two children kissing.
Right.
That is what makes me the most uncomfortable of this. And I would feel the same way if it was two cisgender children in a heterosexual relationship. The amount of adults going around just constantly sharing this intimate photograph, it makes me like I said, it makes me uncomfortable. Because it's like, why are we as adults? It's just a weird thing to me. Like I said, I feel like, dating, that's just my personal belief. you can be friends, you can hang out, but once you start, doing all the kissing and all of that, it just opens up, especially on social media, it opens up too much scrutiny. And I feel like, once you become older, even if they were like more of 16, 17, late teenagers, it would be a little bit different. But now it's just putting these two, minors out there, they're kissing, and people just constantly, it's like too many people have access to this photograph now. And I want to know who took, and my biggest thing is who took this photograph. That's what I want to know. Who, and it's like, like I said, if they want to take pictures, they have a couple of pictures together where, they just have arms around each other or just chilling. That's perfectly fine. Like, okay, kids take selfies in it, but it's like, I want to know who took this photo of them kissing. Like, and then it's like, like I said earlier when we discussed it privately, it seems that Zaya or either the young man she's dating was the one who posted the photo. But like I said, I don't, if their parents decide they're able to have this relationship or what have you, by all means. But I feel like when it comes to celebrity children, you have to tread more softly, and people should stop sharing this picture. And it's just weird. It's uncomfortable. Not the photo itself, but just the people just consistently saving it, sharing. It's just yeah, that's just how I feel.
It's in a sense, it's just social media.
Yeah.
Now, you brought up a valid point that I didn't even really touch on. It's the fact that not only are these kids doing this on social media, and look, for the last time, and this is the last time I'm addressing it in the comments, we know kids kiss. We get that. We're talking about it being on display like this. That's the issue. That part. Let's make that clear again. It's on display. Okay. Thank you. The safety part. There are plenty of pedophiles out here. There are plenty of people that prey on people of color and people who are in the LGBTQ plus community. So now you're identifying these people in this situation, and people are creeps, bro. Like, I just, I don't get that. Kate, what you got for me? Let me make sure we can hear you.
We're gonna try this again,
All right.
okay?
Okay.
There we go.
Because I went on a whole 15-minute tangent.
Oh, you
You're gonna hear nothing I
going
said,
at it,
you know what I
girl.
mean? All right. So, sorry, I keep getting distracted by these comments that are coming across the screen. Speaking of pedophile, well, what I said initially, I'll come back around to that, was I mean, yeah, 14-year-olds do kiss, but I don't have to look at it. It doesn't have to be in my face, type of thing. Like,
thank you. Like, what are we talking about here?
But I wasn't, in this. There's no more innocence in the kids dating. The kids' relationships are now parallel to the adult relationships. When adult relationships, I feel like, are with the intent to be married. You know what I mean? Or if you're not, that's the intent to be with somebody. To share this type of love. And I don't feel like the 14-year-old mind and the adult mind are on the same playing field for you to have this type of intimacy, especially for it to be on display like it's been. So there were 3 couples in this picture, and the ones that were kissing were the youngest couple in the picture. That's a problem. That's
Major.
not cool. I have girls. I don't even want to say I wish they would, because that's still manifesting it to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I'm good on that. I mean, yes, of course she's 14, not 4, but 14 is not adult, baby. 14 and you being exposed to a certain type of relationship, regardless if you're dating, you're a woman, girl dating a boy, if you're a girl dating a girl, a boy dating a boy, it's inappropriate. It's inappropriate. So anyway, speaking of pedophile, there is a lot of scrutiny toward Gabrielle Union, and saying that people are coming for Dwayne Wade, saying he should not have married such a woman. And they are also calling her a pedophile for promoting Z Wade to live in her truth, and allowing her to have such a relationship and displaying these sorts of pictures on the internet, approving this type of behavior that is being exploited now on the internet. How do y'all feel about that? Her being
See,
considered a pedophile.
I don't like that, because you know, people will take any opportunity to take take a freaking jab at a
You
black
can
woman.
cuss.
Oh, I can cuss. Okay. I didn't know if I could cuss or not. But people take every, freaking opportunity to take a jab at a black woman. And I feel that people were already upset, which is so weird to me. People were already upset because, Gab and D Wade, they were very supportive of their child. And I'm never gonna sit there and see a parent supporting their child to live their truth and live the way that makes them happy, and be like, oh well, y'all what the hell y'all do. I'm not going to judge nobody for supporting their child, especially when I know the numbers, the studies of the suicide rates among Black LGBT youth, the homeless rates. I know all that, so I'm not going to say don't support your child, but at the same time, it's like, okay, you got to realize, like I said, I don't care if one of my, I have 2 daughters. If one of my daughters came to me and was like, and they were 14, and was like, I have a boyfriend or I have a girl, I'm like, no, you're not dating. I tell people this all the time. You're not dating nobody, whether they be gay, trans, non-binary, nobody. You're not dating at 14. I just don't feel like I don't feel like you need to date at 14. And that's my biggest issue. Like, I will always support you if you come to me. If one of my daughters came to me and was like, okay, mom, I think I'm gay, mom, I think I'm whatever, we're going to talk through that. We're going to take we're going to talk about it. We're going to counsel and do whatever we need to do. And I'm going to support you in your feelings, but you still ain't dating nobody till you turn 17, 18. That's just
Right.
gonna be how it is. I'm gonna support you. And I just feel like them calling Gab a pedophile, that's the line. Most people don't even know the definition of pedophilia or what pedophilia is. And I'm not gonna get on that soapbox, but most people don't even know what a pedophile is or how to properly define a pedophile.
Can I
But
hop in right quick?
Yeah.
Oh, my fault. So like, Mystique was still saying something. My bad. Go ahead.
oh no, you can hop in. I was just saying that, like, calling her a pedophile is just, that is a low blow, and that is just unnecessary and uncalled for. She's a supportive parent. And yeah, maybe they need to have, I feel like, I'm broke. Don't nobody know who I am for real. So I feel like they should have more conversations with their children about, yeah, y'all are the children of 2 big celebrities. Maybe some things should be kept, to, like intimate moments like that. Cause I don't feel like nobody should be out here sharing all those intimate moments, whether you be an adult or whatever. But it's like, yeah, the internet is forever.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing. The internet is forever. So, maybe it's like, with this, and then, them outing the other young man, I don't feel like, that's right, that people out here publicly outing the other young man. So yeah, I don't think that she's a pedophile, and people should stop calling people pedophiles. Like, that's the line.
They calling her a pedophile.
I
Mm-hmm.
haven't seen it.
No, I'm
I
just saying,
have.
is that what they
It's
calling
all over
Gabby?
Twitter, bro. They are.
Well, I can see why, but okay.
Why
That's
would they call
crazy.
her a pedophile though?
I can see why.
Why can you see why? I'm curious.
No, well, I can go into that. Casey, you wanna make your point? I'll let you know though.
Mhm. No, I was just gonna say real quick. When Mystique brought up about, people just wanted to attack Gabrielle, with some people attacking, what I'm saying, because she a black woman or whatever. I look at it from this standpoint, and I remember one of them was I don't know how you pronounce her last name, Charlie Theron, I guess, who was in the Fast and Furious movies with the short
Charlie.
hair.
Charlize Theron.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there we go. Remember, I think it was her that, what I'm saying, adopted either a boy and were always having him in dresses. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying, people was in the and it was in the uproar. And another famous white celebrity had adopted like a young black boy and had him in dresses or whatever like that. And people were losing their mind. Telling some, oh, they trying to destroy black men, they trying to, what I'm saying, do this. But then on the flip side, when somebody black does it, it's, oh, let them be who they are, let them live in their freedom. So it's kind of like sometimes we let race try to let us have it two ways. When if a white person, you know, what I'm saying, dresses someone who's born a male and dress them in a dress, and they have on heels, or they have on, you know, what I'm saying, lipstick, or be playing with Barbie dolls, it's, oh, they trying to destroy, you know, what I'm saying, black men. They trying to, you know, what I'm saying, do this and do that. But when, if a black person, you know, what I'm saying, does it, is, we should always be supportive, you know, what I'm saying. But my thing is, has somebody made this comment to me, off the set, and they was like, we should be, you know what I'm saying, encouraging what Wade and Gabrielle are doing, because it's enough, you know what I'm saying, broken black homes in America. So my mind went to, okay, are we willing to just accept with anything, not whether you think this cool or not, you know what I'm saying, are we just willing to accept anything, you know what I'm saying, just to say, for the sake, to say, for the fact of, well, at least they're in the same household. Like, do we be like, well,
Mm.
dang, they, both of the kids got drunk, you know what I'm saying, well, at least they got drunk in my household. Man, they doing meth, well, at least they doing meth, you know what I'm saying, in my household. And I know that may be kind of extreme to some, but that's kind
That's
of like the
not extreme.
precedence and the and the
Real.
and the lane, you know what I'm saying, that some people are setting. But that was just my piece.
I feel like that's apples to oranges though. That's
Nah,
really
but
I
comparing.
disagree.
that segue into what I was thinking about to say, because just because you're a supportive parent, that don't make you a competent parent. And then the whole thing
Mm.
about being competent is like, you're now being negligent. So what men are seeing is neglecting parenting. So that's why we're on, like, Gabby, Jada, sometimes Sierra. Uh, when we see them little things like that, we like, hold on. We looking at the dude like, what you doing, bruh? Why you allowing this to happen in your household like this? Cause you looking like you on Get Out. You look like you having problems, bro. I mean, because we see it as men or whatever. So when they say, "Oh, she's a pedophile," of course I think that's a little extreme. That's extreme, right? But let's look at what is actually trying to be communicated instead of trying to nitpick exactly what it is. Because for me, I'm confused. Y'all have a problem with a kid not dating at 14, but y'all don't have a problem with a kid choosing their own gender. And I'm like, that's backwards as hell. But okay, let me back off that. Y'all willing to say, okay, cool.
But I
I have
mean,
a
you
problem.
gotta look into it. It's not just them deciding. I mean, if you talk to 100 transgender adults, they will all tell you that they knew from childhood that they were different. There's studies being shown that it is literally something you're born with. It's chemical imbalance in the brain. It's more science behind it. It's not just them growing, standing up one day and it's like, you know what, I think I'm gonna be a boy or I think I'm gonna be a girl. And I think what separates that other, I know who Casey was referring to, I think what separates it is the child coming to you and saying, okay, this is what I want to wear, this is what I want to do, versus, and I think that's where people are blurring the lines, because obviously Zaya came to her parents and were like, okay, this is how I'm feeling. And we don't know how long before she came out, we don't know how long these conversations were going on,
Uh,
or what
Okay,
the
I
let's
don't think
assume
that they're
that's
saying
true.
that the line is being blurred. I think that they're saying there shouldn't be such a line because this is a child and the child should do, if you're a boy, you should be this way. If you're a girl, you should be this way, as opposed to saying that the child gets to decide. If a boy gets to decide whether he gets to wear a dress and play with Barbie dolls, because that's not a boy thing to do, or if it's a girl that wants to go out there and play football and only wear J's and sweatpants all the time, because that's not a girl thing to do, that you should guide them in the way that a girl should do things and you should guide them in the way that a boy should do things, as opposed to allowing them to say that, I feel like I'm a girl, or I feel like I'm a boy. I don't feel like this suits me. I don't feel like this suit. I'm a guy. I don't want to wear these suits. I want to wear this dress. Lipsticks make me feel pretty. This makes me feel like I'm in my element. So if a child came to you and said that, you should direct them toward that as opposed to giving them that option. I don't think that they're blurring any line. I think that it's pretty
Yeah, that's pretty
it's pretty
clear.
blatant that they feel
Yeah,
like this should be this way and this should be that way. There's no gray area type of thing.
yeah.
But who decides gender norms though? That's the thing. We could sit here and split hairs all day on who decides gender norms. What's norm? Gender is a societal construct. People
No,
have
it ain't.
created what gender is. I mean, if you think about it, everything that is considered feminine now was for men when it was first created. Makeup, high heel wigs, all of
No.
that were items that men, when this is not me saying, this is historical. If you trace back the root of everything that was masculine back then, it was created for men. So it's like their gender is a social, we've created what gender is.
Gen-
So there's
Now
not
that
really no
there's
one
a
way
lot of
to
truth
look
to
at
that.
it.
Hold on.
High heels were created for men, shorter men. When they started doing plays, they started wearing wigs because women weren't allowed to act back then. And so men had to play both the women role and the men roles. So a lot of these things that were created that women still implement in their wardrobe now was actually created for men so that they could look more like women in these roles that they were playing.
Come on,
Let
bro.
me also point out before you speak, Black, so that you can also comment on this. Nathan in the comments said, look at all the men who had to wear a dress to become famous, from Tyler Perry to Martin, Urkel, Jamie Foxx, and we accepted that like it was just comedy, so it's normal. So you can grab that too because I know you want it, and go ahead and speak your piece.
No. Well, first of all, there is no science that says, oh, if you're XY chromosome, but you feel like you XX chromosome, that's what you are. There is no science for that. So, as far as this social construct thing, they only made it a social construct in what, the last 40 years or something, that gender is different than what you're born. So just because you feel like something and you feel like something should be a certain kind of way, what if he decides he feels like he needs to be having sex at 14? Then you're going to go and say, no, that's not appropriate. Well, who are you to say what's appropriate to this child at this point? If you allow them to choose their socially constructed gender, how come that kid can't socially construct that they want to have sex at 14? Like, where
You're
do we
being,
draw
I
the
mean,
line?
by a lot. I mean, if we're gonna split that hair, we can also split a hair. I mean,
No, I need an answer to the
if you think
question.
Hold on,
about
Mystique.
that, if you
Let him speak his piece though. Let him speak his piece though.
Yeah, so no, I need to. I don't. I'm not splitting hairs because that's where the hair got split originally. I mean, like, I'm not splitting nothing. Like, you can't say, "Oh, if you're a biological male," I'm not talking about how you feel. I'm talking about when it gets down to the molecular structure. There is a clear difference between what a man is and what a woman is, and you can feel whatever you want to. It could be all in your spirit and then all in your whatever, whatever, whatever. When you go to the doctor, they're going to treat you according to what your XY chromosome and your XX chromosome is. So to say it's a social construct, okay, let's say that gender is now socially constructed. Now y'all say
sexual assignment is
it's okay for a
biological, not
kid to be
gender.
9 years old and say, hey, if I'm a girl, so now we have to all address this person as a girl. Like, you're making it a societal norm by doing that when we know damn well that's not. Come on now.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. What do you stand to lose? What do you stand to lose if somebody? Okay, so let me ask you this: do you feel this? Okay, if you feel like, okay, a child can't say this, do you feel the same way about an adult? Like, what do you stand? What do you really stand to lose if somebody tells you, okay, you may have met me as male, I identify as female, please call me by this name, please use these pronouns? What do you stand to lose by doing that? What do
It's not
you, how does it personally affect you, your life, and your day-to-day? It's nothing wrong with respecting, just like people can call a married woman by a different name. It
okay. Let
doesn't
me.
kill you, and you don't lose anything by respecting people's gender identity or their pronouns. And like you said, biological sex, or all that, yes, of course, that goes by your assigned gender at birth. But gender and sex are two different things. Gender is the gender is the social construct, not biological sex. That biological sex is science, gender is the social construct. And we're not talking about what somebody is biologically, we're talking about how they choose to identify.
But which one is more important? How you identify or what you actually are? But I'm gonna answer your question. What do I have to stand to lose? It's not a matter about what I have to stand to lose because it's not like I'm trying to uh um validate something just because somebody feel like that's what it is. Now, a person comes to me, do I have a problem with their individual choice of doing that? No, not at all. Am I gonna call a boy that my brain is triggering me that it's a boy for me to call it a girl? I'm not doing that because what I might have to stand to lose is losing the common sense of what a boy and a girl is because society in 2022 want to decide, oh, we're going to let people feel how they want to feel. Let's say 50 years from now, they'd be like, ooh, that period, they was tripping right there. Like, everybody ain't got to fall for that. I mean, like, you could
I mean,
respect
people
it.
felt okay.
You,
People
you
felt the
hold on, hold
same
on, hold
way
on, though.
about
Hold
black
on.
folks, though.
Hold, hold on. You
People
could
felt the
respect
same
it,
way.
but it could
People
be
felt the same
respected,
way
but that
about
don't
black
mean you have
people.
to enforce it.
But what's enforcing it though? I mean, what I don't understand your point because it's saying, okay, like you said, if we're gonna go down that line, we can say, okay, 50, 60 years ago, people felt the same way about black people. They didn't want to refer to black people as a person, and they
Okay.
were dehumanizing black people. So now you're gonna turn and start dehumanizing people just because of their gender or what they say their gender are. It's still, why are you saying you don't want it to be normal when the same people had this same argument that you have now against transgender people, against black people? People sat up there just like you're sitting and had that same
Mm-hmm.
rationalization.
Mm-hmm.
And of course that didn't make it right because we're all black people. So it's like, I feel like, okay, it shouldn't be. No, I feel like, okay, you don't
Those
have
aren't the
to
same.
personally, you don't have to personally agree. This is the thing. This is how you don't have to agree. You don't have to support, but you do have to respect. And
What is
that's the
respect?
bottom line. Everybody deserves respect. You don't go and, like, that is
Wait a
mentally
minute.
triggering to people when you purposely misgender them
No,
because this
no,
is
you're
what
saying
you feel.
purposely. See, you're saying purposely as if someone's going out to do something to hurt them intentionally. No, it's
Okay,
not
how is
purposely
it you
because
prefer
the thing
you
about it
prefer to
is,
her? Okay, obviously she's conveyed that she's a girl and she likes she her
I,
pronoun, yet you're still sitting here
okay, let me
saying
tell
he him
you,
pronouns. That is purposeful. If everybody else can say she and you're still sitting here
it's not
saying he,
everybody else. Stop saying that.
that's purposely. You're doing it
It's
purposefully.
not. No, it's not. You can't tell me what my intent is. My intent is for me to stay true to who I am. Like, just because you want to call yourself a boy and I know you're a girl, that's on you. But I can respectfully call you by your name, and if you want to change your name to a feminine name, and then if you want to, I'm gonna compromise. I'll call you Z Wade. I don't have to call you by a pronoun because you feel like that. But let's take it. I don't like when people try to assert other struggles with the black struggle because those aren't the
Thank
same.
you.
But let's do it in this conversation though. The word nigga, the most hurtful word in the American lexicon. That don't stop niggas from doing nothing. We call white people's niggas now. So you telling me
Anybody can get it.
my inability to call you he or she is gonna stop your movement because it's gonna trigger you? Get out of here with that.
No, I'm
No, I'm not
saying
feeling
you said
that.
no. I'm just going to your point where you said you was not doing it purposefully, but you
I'm
are
not.
doing it purposely.
No, I'm not about to tell my brain that that's a girl when I know it's a boy.
Okay, so would you have a problem if you didn't know? Okay, so if you met somebody and they were fully transitioned, they presented as female, looked like a female, would your mind, okay, I'm asking this, would your mind change if down the line you find out, oh, they were assigned male at birth? If you met them as female, see them as female, thought they were female from the beginning, would your mind change if someone told you that they were male later down? Like, you'd have known this person for months. Would your mind change then?
You know what I would do? You know what I would do? I'd be like, you pulled a rigger on me on that one. You did that one. Hey, that was nice. That was nice. But guess what I'm gonna do? Default to whatever my moral code is. My moral code is, hey, now that I know that you're really a dude, I'm going to call you by your name. Now, I might compromise and call you by the name I've been calling you because you pulled the
That don't
rigor
make
on
no
me.
sense.
Because at the end of the day, I'm not judging you one way or the other or what you're
That
doing.
doesn't make no
No, hold
sense.
on. But I'm not judging you about what you're doing. But what you ain't going to do is make me do something that I know is not right.
But who decides what's right and who's wrong? What's wrong?
I get to choose for me what's right and what's wrong for
But
me.
not when it affects other people. You can't go around purposely hurting other people just because you
Oh,
feel like this is your moral code. Like if that's the
so
case,
let me ask you this
Now,
then.
hold on.
Let
This
me
is where
ask
I
you
have
this
to step
question.
in.
One
Let me
last
step
thing.
in
One
real
last
quick.
thing, sir.
Let me
One last
hold
thing.
on. Let me step in to
Okay, go
address
ahead.
that part because that is going to be a give and take situation. What y'all are now arguing is morals versus ethics, the rights for some versus the rights for all. So I'm just letting you know now that we've officially crossed into that territory. Y'all can go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. So
I
on
just feel like you
my
should
driver's
respect
license,
people.
right? I can show you right now. On my driver's license, before my name, I put Mr. So if I get pulled over, the police officer looks at my license, it say Mr. Sam Black, right? So if that cop decides not to just address me in that, do I have the ability to get ignorant with him because he didn't do that? No. But I'm asking for that respect though. So I'm not saying I don't respect his choice to do that. It's his life. He could do whatever he
You're
wants.
not respecting his choice because
Hold, hold, hold on,
you're
hold
not
on.
respecting her choice
Hold
because
on,
you
hold
keep
on, hold
saying
on.
his.
So
That's not being respectful
so
though.
just because I don't want to address them by the way they want to, that's not respecting them. So is
But
that
see, you
cop?
just
Hold,
did
hold,
it though.
hold
You
on.
just
Let me
did
answer
say
the
them
question.
though.
So does
You
that
can do
mean?
that as
So does
Hold
that
well.
on.
mean
Let him
that cop
finish,
is
Lord.
not respecting me by not calling me Mister? That's what I'm asking.
You compare. Okay. So let me ask you that. How come it was just as easy for you
I'm
to
asking a
look?
question. I'm asking a question. The question is, if that cop don't call me by Mister, if I want to be addressed as Mister, and it's on my license, is that not being respectful?
That is not the same
I'm just
situation
asking
at
you a
all.
simple question. Is
But
that not so? If I want to be Mister all the time, I want people to always say that, and they don't. Is that them being disrespectful to me? Of course, it's not. It's optional.
okay, but if for them, okay, this is the point that I'm driving. You saying it's optional, but for them, it's not optional. That's the
Well,
if some I feel like we say, if you're gonna respect somebody, you can respect some, like I've said, you can respect somebody without agreeing to them with them. You don't have to agree with their lifestyle, you don't have to support their lifestyle, but you stand nothing to lose
yes,
by
I do.
respecting what, well, that's something you have to work on
Well,
internally.
no. Wait a minute.
Well,
Just how do you make
but
a determination what I got to lose? How do you
okay,
make a
what do you have to
determination what I
We
lose?
got to
asking for the
lose?
same thing.
Isadora, it sounds like what he's saying is his way of respecting it is by avoiding the use of the pronoun, just using the name.
But
So
there's nothing
he's
wrong
not
with that
saying
though.
boy, but he's not choosing to say girl. He's just using your name.
But I didn't ever say that was wrong though. I said that okay, if you're gonna do that, but then he turns around again and starts back misgendering. So it's like, okay,
I think that
either you're gonna do
I
it
never
this
I
way.
think
misgendered.
there's a conception in most people's minds that people have to do something because somebody said that this is what I would like.
That part.
Preference does not make it something that has to happen. If he prefers to be called that, okay. If she prefers to be called that, okay. But Black's preference is to not use their pronouns at all because in his mind, this is the boy. This is what I see this as. This is a girl. This is what I see this as. You're making it seem like just because somebody feels that that this body is incorrect from them, that they would like this body, that he has to accept that. That's not so.
I
It's
didn't
just
say
that
he
this
had to
person's
accept it.
preference of
I
their
said,
lifestyle. But you're saying, well, you need to respect you. He doesn't need to do anything but stay black and die, literally. You know what I mean?
now I
You're
feel like
putting a
everybody is
moral
okay.
code. That's why Jeremy paused earlier. You're putting a moral code in the ethics box and vice versa. As if he has to do something just because somebody said that. Just because you tell me to walk on the sidewalk don't mean I'm not about to walk on the street. You did just because your preference is for me to walk on the sidewalk because it puts your mind at ease, it takes your anxiety away so I don't get hit by a car. That's not my life. That's not what I'm living in. And if I want to live in that truth, then I'm going to keep living that way. I'm gonna walk in the street. So you can't sit up here just like I can't tell you what to think. I can't tell you that you can't sit up here and why, because ultimately you're going to do what you want to do. But because of our relationship, I'm going to respect you in this level. He don't even know Z-Wade. You know what I mean? So he doesn't feel vindicated and, doing any of this because he doesn't follow it. And that's his preference. Just like Z-Wade prefers to be identified as a girl and the boyfriend prefers to be identified as a boy. That's their preference. And preference doesn't make it ultimate. And there's that. I just feel like we have to drop that misconception that people have to do something just because somebody said jump.
And the reason why I do that,
life is not Simon Says. You know what I mean? So,
and the reason why I do that, because I was in Best Buy like a couple of days ago, and then I was getting help from what appeared to be a dude to me, and I was like, oh, thanks, bruh. Thanks, whatever the name was on the name tag, whatever, Then when I'm checking out, I'm noticing he might be kind of feminine or whatever, right? So in my mind, I'm like, damn, I could have been offending him this whole time or whatever, depending on how I don't know what you consider yourself being. So for me to hit it down the middle of the fairway, I'm gonna call you by what it appears to me, and if it offends you, I'll apologize for sure. But from that moment on, I'm calling you by your name. And then if you had a transition named or whatever, and it's obvious to me, instead of this and this, I'm gonna be like, look, I'm gonna avoid that at all costs because I don't want to even have the conversation. Because the moment I say something wrong, now I'm super disrespectful, or now I'm not understanding the struggle, or I'm being dismissive, or no, nigga, I'm ignorant.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Sam, because there's been a new issue with my job. I work for a call center and with customer service because we work telecommunication. It's becoming an issue with us simply saying ma'am, sir, miss.
Oh,
We can't tell over the phone always who's who, what's what. They don't put female or male on their profile. We don't know. So it's becoming an ongoing issue at work now. People are getting surveys being failed because they didn't, you know, say, his, her when, it was the opposite. We can't tell. It's just the voice. That's all we get. We don't get your picture. We don't know your ethnicity. We're going solely by what we hear. And half the people on the phone, really about 70% sound like male. I could probably sound like a male on the other side of the phone. And then somebody say, Mister, I'm going to get mad. So then when there is somebody that's transitioning, how do you know? If they don't come on the phone and tell you, oh, well, before we have this conversation, I want you to address me as such. Nobody does that over the phone. When you're calling to get your balance at the bank, you're not going to tell them, oh, just before we start this conversation, I would like for you to address me as Mister. They don't do that. So in this case, I understand what you're saying, Zadora. I feel you, but I agree with it being a preference. It's you can't call me for that. Now, if you correct me and I apologize, like Sam said, I'm gonna just avoid it from the conversation on out. All right, Zadora, here's your balance. Thank you for calling US Bank, and let's do that conversation.
But I work telecommunications too, and because of the environment my job creates for everybody, we don't have to. We know it's a way that you can work telecommunications. I talk to several hundred people a day, and I never use Mister, Ma'am, Sir, none of that. It's a way you can talk to, and that's the thing, and that's what the bottom line is. No, we're told not to assume people's gender. We're told because you can't honestly, like I said, you work telecommunication. I've been working telecommunication for 10 years. You don't know who you're talking to, especially when they have a gender neutral name. So we don't use pronouns. We don't use ma'am, sir, nothing. We don't really use that. And it's possible to do that. And I agree with, and this gonna sound crazy, I agree with Black, who said if he doesn't know, and I do like the fact that he said that he's willing to apologize, and he admitted that. And I understand that, me, this is my field of study. I'm all about the human, and I understand. And that's what I'm trying to come full circle. I know a lot of people don't understand the gender binary. They don't understand how it works. And it's okay to not understand. And if the way for you to be, I hate that we're coming full circle in agreement, but if the way for you
I
to,
love it. I wish you could see the smile on my face right now.
if
I
the
love
way
this shit.
for you to be able to respect someone while feeling comfortable is to use their name or just say they them or what have you, that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I would never say nothing is wrong with that. I use they them a lot when I don't know the person's perceived gender or I don't know how they feel. But I just said this: if they correct you, and that's my biggest thing. If someone corrects you, like with the person who was assisting you at Best Buy, if you were calling them man, saying they were like, well, actually I'm a female, and he was like, oh, I'm sorry, okay, and you move on, that's fine. But it shouldn't be a big deal made about it. It shouldn't be where there are people who will purposely continue on. Once somebody stops you and corrects you, if you acknowledge it and move on, and like you said, you rather just use the name, that's okay. That's the point I'm driving. It's okay to just use their name or what have you, but what I'm saying is not okay to purposely continue on if they correct you. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I think we all agree to that. I think that's the main thing. It's just like someone has the right to prefer something, I can prefer to not to. Just like you were saying, Zadora, where you went all day without using sir or ma'am, Ebony equally can go all day and say sir or ma'am. And we got to get out this space where we condemn each other for the way that we choose to go about things. That I think that's the main point that we're all hitting on today. Like, just like you can, I don't have to. That's it. Point blank, period. But go ahead, Casey.
No, I was just gonna say something real quick. It's like, like sooner or later, everything is gonna be neutral. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's what you ain't gonna know what to say or what not to say. At first it was easy. You know what I'm saying? If you was on, a plane and it was a woman, she was a stewardess. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just flight attendant. If you was getting your, say if you was getting your dinner or somebody was waiting on you at a restaurant, if it was a man, it was a waiter. If it was a woman, it was a waitress. Now we're directed just to call them servers. You know what I'm saying? So it just feel like sooner or later, like everything just gonna be phased out, and you just gonna have to like roll some dice and whatever it land on. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's gonna have to be. You saying nowadays? It's like we're overcomplicating the stuff that was once so simple. And things that that we could laugh about or anything. It's like all of a sudden, what I'm saying, it became a big issue when Ray Ray, was alive, and we'll be at Battle of the Bands, and the Prince and Elites used to be dancing in the end zone. He would say, "Give it up for them." You
Them
know what I'm
over
saying?
there.
And they didn't think nothing about it. Nobody in the crowd thought nothing, about it, whatever. We know that he didn't, mean no harm for them or wanted to do them no bodily harm or anything or incite a riot against them. That's just what it was. It's like now, if you don't want to call them by something that you feel personal about, we feel that we're making it as an insult or as a personal attack, what they are, when that's not that's not the case. Saturday Night Live had a skit about Pat. They didn't know if she was a man or a woman. She would do something to where the character would do something to where, okay, maybe Pat is a woman, and then the character would turn around and be like, well, dang, well maybe Pat, is a man. And nothing was thought nonetheless about it. It wasn't no people picketing outside telling Saturday Night Live to stop it. It wasn't no, them saying they felt a certain way about it. It was just, entertainment or whatever the case may be about some people who look like that in real life. But I just feel like sometimes we put too much emphasis on somebody going against something that we don't prefer, and I think that what Jeremy was on prefacing.
Yeah, that's it. That being said, I kept my promise of keeping this shit 1 hour. I love you all. Thank y'all for coming out. Take y'all ass to bed and go wash them goddamn dishes. I know one of y'all ain't did it. So
mind your damn business. How about
I feel like it. There
Again.
goes
Make sure,
those
hey,
privileges
hey,
again.
make sure y'all. Hey, thanks for the people that got to the YouTube. I see some of the YouTube subscribers popped up. So thank y'all
Yeah.
for those that was in the 2020 group. We thank y'all for hacking in with us. Go to the YouTube page. Make sure you like and subscribe that thing because I gotta talk this boy Jeremy into doing these more often and at least let us say put an hour and a half. Can we get an hour and a half, bruh? Can we get an hour and a half? So make him give it a little bit more time. But thanks for hacking in, y'all. That was a good conversation. Hey, I love all y'all, especially you, Zadora.
I love you more, Black.
Peace.